Hello everybody, this is Mike again with the Yoga Collective, AK, and I'm here today. We're going to do a balance focused yoga session today. As you may have seen in our email that we sent out and on our Facebook page and our website as well, we've given up our studio, had to let that go, and we're moving on to another chapter here, and right now all we're doing is online yoga. There is June 24th, there is going to be a yoga in the park session at Cuddy Family Park. You can see details about that on our website, on Facebook, or in the email, or you can get hold of me and we can give you details on that. So maybe we'll see you out there in the park. Well, other than that, all of our Yoga Collective classes, all the teachers are teaching online. So I'm doing YouTube so that you have the chance to view this whenever you like to view it. All the rest of the classes being offered by the other three teachers are all on Zoom, and they're live classes, and so you're welcome to join those classes as well. The schedule is on any of the social media sites and in the email and all that kind of thing. So today we're going to get going on a little warm up first. I've been really keen in my home practice around the Warrior series. For some reason, that just feels good to just move through all that. So we're going to move through that a couple times. One will be nice and slow and deliberate. Another will be a little bit faster. Then we're going to move into a bunch of standing balance poses. And balance is use it or lose it. So I want to focus on that as we as we get into our summer, so we have good balance through the summer. So here we go. Come onto your mat. We're just going to warm up our spine and our muscles. Put your wrists of your hands directly beneath your shoulders and your knees directly beneath your hips. We're going to do a little cat-cow. So drop your belly on the inhale. Gaze comes up. On the exhale, the back goes toward the ceiling. Gaze comes toward your knees. Inhale again. On the inhale, pull your hands towards your knees horizontally. And on the exhale, push your hands away from your knees. Just a little forward, backward bend of the spine. I've been doing a lot of construction this summer so far, and this feels really good in the morning to loosen up the joints, get the back going. Okay, come into neutral tabletop, back flat, and then we're going to just wag the tail. Look over your left shoulder to your left ankle, and your right shoulder to your right ankle. Keep that going. Just want to make sure we're on sync here. Yes, everything's looking good. Sometimes I just need to check and make sure the technology is keeping up. So we just wag that tail back and forth, coming back into a neutral tabletop. Walk your hands forward about a foot, kind of come into puppy dog pose. Push those hips back, keep your elbows up off the mat, and stretch long between your hands and your hips. Really stretch out that back. This is called axial extension. Lengthen that back. Lengthen those shoulders. See if you can just pull the shoulders out of the socket. You're not going to do that, but just think of that. Really stretch those underarms. Stretch those side bodies long. Big inhale, big exhale. On the inhale, see if you can feel your ribs expand to each side. And up toward the ceiling, even in the back ribs. You're going to take your hands, walk them over, both of them over to the left corner of your mat. Plant both hands at the left corner of your mat and push that right hip back. Big a lateral extension for the right side. Just inhale into that right lung. And really stretch the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. Stretch those muscles between the ribs. And walk your hands over to the right corner of your mat. Plant your hands, spread your fingers, push the left hip back. Big lateral extension on the left side. Breathe into the left lung. Big inhale and nice slow exhale. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Come back into tabletop. Now we're going to do a thread the needle twist. So back in neutral tabletop, pick your right hand up, come underneath your left hand, and come down to that right shoulder, and then snake that left hand out in front of you. Stack your left shoulder on top of your right. Keep your knees on the mat. Left shoulder comes to the floor. Or if you have a bolster or a pillow, you can have your right shoulder on a bolster or a pillow or a blanket. Just stack that left shoulder. This is a twist. We're just doing a left twist for the spine. Big inhale and exhale. Then walk that left hand back in, push yourself back up. Neutral tabletop. Just wiggle the hips back and forth a little bit and take the left hand up and underneath the right, come onto your left shoulder. Walk that right hand out in front, stack your right shoulder on top of your left. And big inhale and exhale. Thread the needle, twist. And then walk your hand back in. Push yourself up neutral tabletop. I'm just going to turn and face the camera now because we're going to tuck our toes. Tuck your toes. And then walk your hands back. Come up on your thighs. And we're going to do a toe stretch. This is really good for your toes. It so often feels quite intense. But allow your mind to focus on your breath. Ignore your toes. Maybe you want to pull your little toe out so it is getting the benefit too. And then come forward and extend your toes and then just slap your toes top of your feet on the floor. Give them a little love pat. That's good. Now we're going to do Parigasana, gate pose. So we're going to come up on our knees, extend the left leg out, sideways. You can come up on your toes of your back foot. Your left hand comes on your left thigh, right hand then up and over. So your toes are pointing up, now your thumb's pointing more toward the ceiling, your little finger more toward your toes. And if you have a little bit more to go, you can twist your body back until your left hand engages your right heel. This is Parigasana, is just to your leg, and then if you want to add a bit of a twist to that, you can do that. A big inhale and exhale. And come up and over. This time, lower your back toes. And if I had a block, which I don't have a block with me right now, I would have a block here or something. We're going to come in the other part, which is just a extension over like this. So left hand, left arm comes up and over, hand over your head. Your body supported by your right fingertips in this case. Again, externally rotate your humerus, your upper arm, to where your thumb is more toward the ceiling and your pinky finger is more toward the floor. Just an external rotation helps to open up your shoulders. And then come back up and over, back on your knees again. Extend your right leg out, toes directly toward the ceiling. Come up on your back toes if you like, or you can stay flat on your back toes. Right hand on your thigh, left hand up and over. And this one, you can rotate your gaze down toward the floor a little bit to get more of a stretch in your upper back, or rotate your gaze more toward the ceiling to get more of a stretch kind of in the front and more of a lateral stretch through the front. Whichever is feeling good, or you can do both. You can do the twist if you like. Come back with your right hand on your left heel. Good little balance pose here as well. And come up. Your right toes point directly toward the front of your mat this time. Lower your back toes flat. Your right foot directly toward it. And see if you can get some weight on the outside edge of that right foot to open up that arch as we come up and over. Externally rotate your humerus, your upper arm. Now, long between your right toes and your right fingertips. Really long between that side body. Again, your gaze can come down or up, depending on what feels good to you. And then come up and over. Good. Now what we're going to do is just a little bit of arm and wrist opening. So we're going to take our fingers, we're going to clasp our fingers, invert, we're going to come up, really push up, and then as we release our fingers, we're going to do a twist to the right. We're not going to hold it, we're going to come right back around, arms come right back around, and up to engage, and we clasp our hands again. This time we release our hands and we come around to the left. Let the arms continue to go. This is called airplane arms. Continue to go, your body twists, and your arm comes up to the top. Nice and slow. Now, without clasping your hands, your right arm comes back, your left arm comes forward, my body twists to the right. Keep your arms in the plane of your mat, and then both arms down by your side. When both arms are by your side, your right arm comes forward, your left arm back. My body twists to the left and comes right on up. See if you can keep going with that. I've got one technical. Okay, I'm back. So hopefully we got our airplane arms going there. Good. Now, we're just going to release our wrists. So take your arms horizontal, take your right hand around your left wrist, and just pull a little traction on that. And then try to twist your arms opposite each other. Give a little love to that wrist. Look at it and say, hi wrist, please forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you, thank you. And then release, left hand around the right wrist, look at it, pull traction, rotate your forearms opposite directions, and say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. That little chant is called Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian chant that gives love and kindness to yourself or to others. And generally it's repeated over and over and over many, many times, even to a melody, to a tune. And it can bring about healing capabilities. So now, we're all loosened up, shake that out, and then we're just going to come up to standing. Okay, now we're going to move into a little bit of a moon salute. So we're going to take our mat, turn your mat sideways to where your mat is, the long side of your mat is facing your screen. And we're going to stand over on I'm on the right side of my mat. It's hard to mirror you when I can't see where you're at. Stand on the right side of your mat, into Tadasana, feet firmly planted. Bend the knees a little bit, arms come up. Extend your knees straight, arms come up, lateral bend to the left. Hold that, big inhale, exhale. Come up, lateral bend to the right. Inhale, exhale. When you come up this time, we're going to just step out towards the center of your mat. Rotate your feet out at a 45-degree angle. Your arms out. It's called a 5-point star. We're going to bend our knees in the direction of our feet and coming down to goddess pose. And you can come down deep or shallow, however you like. We're going to come back up, 5-point star. We're going to rotate toward the left this time. Rotate your left foot straight toward the left small end of your mat, and line up your heels to where your left heel is lined with your right heel. Your right toes are a little bit forward of your right heel. In other words, your right heel is a little bit farther back than your toes are. So your foot's maybe like a 30-degree angle to your mat. Arms out, we're going to come in a triangle pose. Reach forward, that wall across from you, push this hip back. Come down in triangle pose. Doesn't have to be too deep. Have your lower shoulder, your left shoulder, directly over your left leg and your left foot. And if you have that alignment between your head, your shoulder, and your leg, then you're aligned properly. If you're leaning forward to where your shoulder's ahead of your leg, your butt's sticking out the back, or if you're the other way, then your right hip's sticking out too far forward. So we want to be lined up that way. Push weight in your toes of your front foot and on the outside edge of your back foot. Lift those arches. Bend that forward knee. Come back up. We're going to come into Warrior 2. I need a little Warrior series here. Warrior 2, front knee directly over the front ankle. Arms out. Gaze is over your left arm, directly forward. Breathe into that. Long between the fingertips. Keep your side bodies straight. And then exalt that warrior. I like to bring my right arm behind my back, small in my back. Left arm up toward the sky. Again, externally rotate that humerus to where your thumb goes more toward the ceiling, pinky more toward the floor. And your gaze comes up toward the ceiling by your hand. Big inhale, big exhale. And then we come back down, rotate back around. The right hand, back hand comes up and over, right hand down. You can rest your left forearm on your left knee, right arm up and over, or you can extend that left arm straight to use a little more abdominal muscle. And think long, straight between your back foot and your back right foot and your right fingers extended towards the ceiling. Really reach out. And then your gaze, stack your right shoulder on top of your left, bring your left shoulder right in line with that left knee. Right shoulder stacked over your left shoulder. This is called extended side angle. And then come back up into our Warrior 2. Now we're just going to rotate to the left side of your mat. Come into crescent lunge. You're on your toe of your back foot. This is a good balanced pose right here. Back leg nice and straight. Engage your abdominal muscles and come into a little bit of a back bend. Gaze comes toward the ceiling. And then you can come down, forward, hands to the mat. Extend that back leg back a little bit to where your front knee is directly over your front ankle. Called runner's lunge. See if you can straighten out your spine between your hips and your shoulders as much as possible, so we're not rounding it excessively. And then walk your hands around to the front. You come down to, we call this crouching tiger. There's actually a Sanskrit name for it. But crouching tiger, here's your balance pose. Hands come into heart center. And you can stay up for this too. You can stay up like this on your fingertips, or you can stay up quite higher if you like. But if you have the opportunity in your body today to do this, and then you just come across, we're stretching the abductor muscles on the inside of our thighs is what we're doing. Crouching tiger, find a drishti, which is a focal point, on the floor to focus on. And then we rotate around facing the right side of your mat into a runner's lunge. Back leg, push the back of your back leg toward the ceiling, straighten it out. Weight comes into the front toes on your front foot, your right foot. And then we're going to come up into crescent lunge. Again, back knee toward the ceiling. Engage the abs, come into a little bit of a back bend. Good balance pose. Now we're going to come into Warrior 2 to the right side. Line up your heels, take your time. Line up your heels. Your torso's nice and straight. We're not too far forward, not too far back. Torso's nice and straight. Heels over your front. The bigger the stance, the lower you get, but that's not the objective. The objective is just alignment within your body. Nice Warrior 2. We're going to exalt. Arm behind the back, or arm down to the back leg is fine too. Again, externally rotate that upper arm, thumb toward the ceiling. Now put weight on the outside edge of your back foot and the ball of your foot on the front. It helps to engage the arches in your feet, which helps for balance. And we're going to just bring it around like a big wheel toward extended side angle. Come onto that right forearm on your right knee, left arm comes around, and you engage a nice long straight line between your back leg, left foot, and your left fingers. Again, put weight on the outside edge of your back foot. Really stretch that armpit out. Stretch your fingers as far from your foot as possible. Externally rotate that hand again, thumb toward the ceiling. The lower hand can then come straight, if you like, for the abdominal engagement. Nice big breath, and push that back up into your Warrior 2. Now we're just going to straighten that front leg, your right leg. We're going to come into our triangle. So I'm going to reach across like I'm reaching across the room, and I come down. My right hand comes onto my right shin, left arm comes up. If that's not good, you can leave your left hand right on your hip. Look at your alignment. Your right shoulder over your right leg. Stack your left shoulder over your left leg. Your head is right over your leg as well. So if somebody was to look at you from the front of your mat, skinny end of your mat, they're going to see everything in line. Both your legs, your shoulders, your head, and your hips are all right in one line. You can raise that upper arm up if you like. triangle pose, micro bend in that front knee, come up, rotate around in the front of your mat, 5-point star, feet at 45-degree angle out, reach the fingertips away from your hips, and come down into goddess pose. Arms like a goalpost. Your head is like the football, I guess. Touchdown. We come back up. 5-point star. And this time we're going to step to the left side of your mat. Come up. Lateral bend to the left. Lateral bend to the right. Come back up. This time, clasp your hands over your head. Just your hands together. Don't interlock your finger. And then they come right behind your head. Elbows toward the ceiling. Stretch long. This is good stretch for your triceps. Stretch long. And come down. Now, we're going to go through this one more time, but we're going to do it quite a bit faster. So, we'll see how this flow goes. We're just going to get into a little bit of a flow now. So arms up overhead. Lateral bend left. Lateral bend to the right. Step out, center your mat, feet at 45, goddess. Come back up. This time we're going to rotate to the right corner of your mat, line up your feet, come into your triangle. Bend that, come into warrior 2. Exalt that warrior. Come into extended side angle. Come around into crescent lunge to the right side of your mat. Hands down to the mat. Runner's lunge. Take a breath. Come around into your crouching tiger. Shift to the left side of your mat, crouching tiger. Come around, runner's lunge to the left. Up to crescent. Rotate that back foot out. Come into warrior 2. Exalt your warrior. Come around to extended side angle. Come back up, warrior 2. Straighten that front leg. We'll come in a triangle. Reach for that wall across from you. Hand down to your leg. Triangle pose. Breathe, inhale and exhale. Just relax. Micro bend to that left knee. Come back up, warrior 2. Come up, 5-point star. Goddess pose. Feet out 45-degree angle. Goddess pose. Maybe a little bit deeper this time. As you get it figured out. Come up. Step to the right side of your mat. Hands up. Lateral bend left. Up. Lateral bend right. Very good. Now we're going to step out the center of our mat. And we're going to rotate. Hands come horizontal. We're just going to rotate our toes toward the long edge of your mat, toward the front. Hands then come to your hips. And we're going to do just a forward fold. So your legs are engaged, your thighs are engaged. Engage your thighs. Weight is on the outside edge of both feet. Torso is nice and tall. Now think long between your waist and your crown of your head. And we're not going to round our back. We're going to keep our back nice and straight. Keep your back nice and straight. Well, just like it is right now. Feel how your back is nice and straight. It's got a little curve, lordosis in your lumbar area. And that comes into your thoracic and your cervical. Keep those curves as you slowly bend forward. Only come as far forward as you can keep your back straight. Your hands come down to your legs. Or if you have blocks or something in front of you, you can put your hands on that. Or maybe you've got the flexibility with a straight back to come all the way forward. Now, inhale. On an exhale, go ahead and let that back round, and then come down and just hang. Wide-legged forward fold. Big inhale and exhale. We're going to walk our hands to our left foot. Maybe both hands grab the ankle or the foot of your left. Your legs are straight. Weight is on the outside edge of both feet. It's kind of balanced through your feet, but I want to, when I say weight is on the outside edge, I mean focus on the outside edge, because when you're in a wide-legged stance, it's often easy to collapse to your inside of your arches, and that collapses the arch. So if we focus on the outside edge of your foot, then that can raise the arch, even though you got kind of balanced weight across your ball of your foot. And then walk your hands over to your right foot. Good stretch for your adductor muscles. Good stretch for your hamstrings. Walk back in the right. This time, walk your hands up your legs, straighten your back now. Coming to half, wide-legged Uttanasana, wide-legged forward fold. Take your hands round behind your back. Clasp your fingers behind your back. Push your hands toward the wall behind you. Nice straight back, hinge at the hips, and come up to standing. Yeah, there we go. Up to standing, you can either walk your feet in or jump. And here we are. Good. Now, you can just shake that out a little bit. Shake that out. Take a break. Get a cup of tea, a cup of water, a cup of coffee, whatever's serving you today. And now we're going to move into the next stage, is our balance stage. So, always for balance, there's a couple things I always like to think about. One is grounding. It's hard to balance if you're not grounded. So you can ground through your balanced leg by thinking that coming out of the bottom of your leg, the bottom of your foot is a root going deep into the ground, like a taproot out of a big tree. And that's what's anchoring you to the earth. The other thing that helps with balance is to engage your abdominal muscles just a bit. I mean, it's not like you got to clench them, but just a bit. Engage your thigh and engage your glute on the standing leg. Engage your thigh, engage your glute. That's going to help you balance. And the other thing is, with balance, I always think of a string coming out of the top of my head, or a rope coming out of the top of my head toward the ceiling. And somebody's like on the puppet, and they're the puppeteer, and they're holding me up. You know, if the puppeteer, if he drops a string, you just collapse. So the string's holding me up. And one of my teachers told me one time that all yoga poses have a sense of direction. So these balance poses, the sense of direction is from the ground up through the top of your head. So think long between the ground and the top of your head. And the top of your head is being held up so your whole body can stay up. And think about that. Balance, a lot of balance is just mental. There's some physical to it for sure, but a lot of it's just mental. And if you think you're going to stay up, if you think you're going to balance, then you're more likely to balance. So there you go. Now you can also, all these balance poses, you can use a wall, you can use a chair, you can use whatever you want to somebody else, a partner, to stabilize yourself. So don't think that you have to do this out in the center of the room. So we're going to start with the tree pose. I'm going to balance on my left leg, engage the left thigh, come up. Maybe I bring my heel up to the heel of my right foot up to my left leg. Maybe this is it. Rotate my right knee out to the side. My hips stay square to the front. So I'm just opening this up with the strength of my glutes on my right side. Maybe this is it. Maybe you bring your foot up just to your calf. Now, if you think about this, where is that left hip? If that left hip's sticking clear out to the side, bring that left hip up in the midline. And then get long, think a string, get really long between the top of your head. Oops. And lose your balance. And then your hands can come anywhere you like, out to the side, come to heart center, stay on your hips, or if you like, your hands can come up and overhead. If they're overhead, that raises the center of gravity from the ground and it provides a little more challenge. If you have the ability, you can get your leg clear up in your upper thigh. Just, I caution you not to put your foot right on your knee. So I like to have it just around my calf so that the arch kind of cups my calf. And then I can kind of tell where it is. Nice and long, look at a drishti, focal point. Now think about your breath. Inhale and exhale. This is tree pose. Now we're just gonna, the wind's blowing, move all your limbs, except for the trunk. Move all your limbs. I often find it's easier to balance when everything's moving than it is if nothing's moving. And then come down. Shake that out. Feel the left glute, the strain in that left glute, the left leg. Okay, we're going to come back in to center. Find your center. The root, engage, engage, come up. Maybe this is your tree. Come up a little higher. Think about that right hip in line. Arms can go wherever you like your arms today. Find your focal point. You can also look toward the ceiling. Now, if you've got really good balance, close your eyes. Try closing them just for a second, see what happens. Focus on your breath. Open that left knee out to the side with your left glute, but keep your hips square to the front. And then come out and just, the wind is blowing all your limbs around except for the trunk stays nice and rooted. And you come down. Good. Shake that out. You walk around a little bit. Get that all loose. Okay, now we're going to come into a little more difficult pose, which is eagle pose. And if we had a block, or I've got a little round bolster here we can use. I'm going to start on my left leg. Right leg then, I'm going to engage, engage, think of the root, come up and over, and that left toe then kind of comes on something that's elevated. Now you don't really need that, or you can use it. Or maybe your left leg, your toes just stay on the floor. Cross your right leg over the top of your left leg as much as you can. Some people can even wrap their right leg completely around the back of their calf. I can't get that. But right leg comes up and over the top of your left. The right arm comes up and out in front of you, left arm up and over, so that your right arm is close to your right leg. If your right leg is on top, your right arm is on bottom. Now, maybe your hands come back to back, or you can rotate them all the way around, palm to palm. Oops. And then, with a nice straight back, you can bend that standing knee and come into a squat. That the upper right foot, dorsiflex, flex those toes back towards your knee a little bit. Back is nice and straight. Shoulder blades, oops. Shoulder blades are down the back. Shoulder blades are down the back. There we go. Then raise your elbows up a little bit. And then fly that baby out in space and come down. Okay, that's a little more difficult pose. That's eagle pose. Get your breath. Center up. Center your midline is what I'm talking about. Center up. Center everything around your midline. That's your balance. It's through a center of gravity, both vertically and horizontally. And those two lines are going to cross somewhere around your navel area, give or take. engage your right. Think of the root, engage, engage. Left leg up and across. Left arm out, right arm up and over the top. Intertwine your arms. Dorsiflex that upper foot. And then bend your standing leg. Find a drishti. You can bend that standing leg just as much as it feels comfortable. Keep your back nice and straight so you've got a little curve still in your lower back. Raise those elbows up a little higher. Fingertips directed towards the ceiling. Think of the string coming out top of your head. Engage the abdominals. And then fly that baby out and come down and land. Good. And just walk that around a little bit. Shake that out. Good. Okay, now we're going to come into another balance pose. We're going to do at least 2 more balance poses. We're just going to collect ourselves here for a second. Stand Tadasana. Feet directly forward. Engage your thighs, engage your glutes. Engage your abdominal muscles 10%, lower ribs down toward the front a little bit. Just to engage those abs. Shoulders back and down the back. Chin parallel with the floor, head back toward the back wall just a bit. Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, now we're going to take our hands horizontally and out in front of us. And we're going to come up on our toes. And we're going to bend our knees, or as much as you can, as much as you want to, as much as your body wants to today, come into a squat. Now you're up on your toes, so your heels are off the ground. Come up. And down. Exhale when you come down. Inhale when you go up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Whoa. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale down. Hold that for a breath. It's a good balance pose. Inhale, we come up. And then come down your heels. And just shake that out. Oh, yeah. Okay. Get it all loosened up. Okay. I don't know what it looks like outside. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to do one more balance pose. Figure 4. Engage that left leg. Right foot up and over. The ankle comes just above the knee. On the ankle of the right comes just above your knee on your left. Hands to heart center. And you bend that standing leg. Come down to a squat. Our back stays nice and straight. We're not rounding our back. Our back stays nice and straight. Take this upper knee, the right knee, and bring it with your muscles of your torso and your leg. Bring that down toward the floor. Dorsiflex this upper toe back toward your knee. This is figure 4. If you have a little bit more to go, you can straighten that standing leg, come up and over, and we're going to do a forward fold around your back, and maybe you can come down to where your hands are on your shin or your ankle as your standing leg. And then come back up through your, lost it. Come back up through your figure 4. And then fly out of that and land it. Cool. Okay, one more to go. I really like these figure 4s. These are really good because it helps to open the hips. When you're doing that figure 4, bringing that upper leg, upper knee down toward the floor, really helps to open up that hip. And then I like going over forward, doing a forward fold as well, because that stretches the hamstring, and kind of stretches out the lower back too. But that's, there's a couple different bus stops we can take, several different bus stops we can take on this particular pose. So just go to whatever bus stop that you want to, whatever you got your ticket punched for, and that's as far as you need to go, or anybody needs to go. So engage, left knee up and over, left ankle on just above the right knee. Find your focal point. Whoa, baby. Find your focal point. Hands to heart center. Center yourself. String out the top of your head. Back nice and straight. Bend that standing leg. Dorsi flex that upper foot. And if you like, you can straighten that standing leg. Bring your head down toward the mat. Your fingers then come down. And you just grab. You can either put your fingers on the mat to stabilize yourself, or wrap your fingers around that ankle, that shin, and you're just balanced on your right foot. Focus on your breath, and then come back up through figure 4, stabilize, and then fly out of that baby. Good. And then shake that out. Okay, now we're going to bring it down a little bit. Maybe not so much the energy level, although we're coming to the end of class today, but I want to bring the elevation down. So instead of standing, we're going to come down onto our mat. You can bring your mat back with the short end facing me, if you like. I'm going to go sideways, but you can face me so you can see what's going on. We haven't forgot our abdominals, have we? Okay, we've got to do that abdominal work. We're going to do boat pose. So hands come just behind the back. Feet then come up. Bend your elbows. Back nice and straight, or as straight as you can. Shins parallel with the floor. Maybe your hands come out in front of you. Or you can leave your hands behind you. Maybe out in front of you. Maybe you can extend your feet, your arms. This is called Navasana, boat pose. And then row your boat. Just row your boat a little bit. It's summertime in Alaska after all. Exhale when you come in, inhale when you go out. In, out, in, out, in. Five more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold that, hold it, and let her go. Okay, very good. Got to get the abs in there. And there's a couple of you who know I'm talking specifically to you because I know you love ab work. So, now we're just going to relax for a second, get our breath back. And we're going to come on to our back. Knees bent, feet on the mat, arms out to your side. Both feet come up, shins parallel with the ceiling, knees over your hips. And you're just going to twist to the left. Maybe they come down to the mat, maybe not. Maybe your right shoulder comes up off the mat, that's okay. It's a nice twist. Hold that. Now the strength of your left hand. Help those legs back up to center. Or center. And then twist over to the right. Your gaze comes over your left shoulder a bit. It's okay if your shoulder's off the floor. And then you come back up into center. Now, your legs, we're going to come into a happy baby pose. So your legs come back up toward the ceiling, your soles of your feet toward the ceiling. Clasp your hands around the outside edges of your feet. Happy baby pose. And you maybe wiggle back and forth a little bit. It's like a baby check mark. Check mark. Check mark. Bring one foot in, one foot out. Happy baby. Feet down to the mat. Hands out, T-shape. Spread your feet wide to the outside edges of your mat. And just windshield wipe your knees to the right and to the left. Nice and easy. Final movement today. Nice and easy. And then we come back up in the center and we're going to come into Shavasana. I always like to have something under my knees. So I've got this little bolster. You have a pillow, blanket underneath your knees, or just kind of flat on the floor. Arms out to the side. Nothing to do in Shavasana, just relax. And you're welcome to stay here as long as you like, all the rest of the day if you like. Just let your breath be your focal point. Think about all your muscles now. We're going to do a short body scan. My legs are relaxed. My hips are relaxed. My back is relaxed. My stomach is relaxed. My shoulders are relaxed. Both my arms are relaxed. Both my hands are relaxed. My neck is relaxed. My jaw is relaxed. And my eyes are relaxed. Even the crown of my head is feeling relaxed. Again, you're welcome to stay in this Shavasana for as long as you like. Thanks for joining me for our yoga practice today, our balanced yoga practice, and we will see you next time. Peaceful thoughts, peaceful words, and peaceful heart. Namaste.